I'm not someone who's into gold watches, but I've got a gold watch in front of me. Well, it's gold PVD plated and it's from Baltic. Now, these are an affordable watch, and for those who don't know, Baltic offers watches that are affordable, designed beautifully, finished well, but with lower grade movements. Not spending an arm and a leg on that movement. And in saying that, there's about 5 things on this watch that actually really bugged me throughout the week. And although I love its look, its overall appearance, that beautiful gloss dial, and the way those markers just jump out at you, this particular watch is also not without its teething problems. And I'm going to share that with you guys today. Let's check it out. Now, I do like Baltic. I like the brand, I like what they offer, the design, the elements that work really well. And this particular one here, I've got a sector dial in gold. That case is PVD coated in gold. And I think the overall look is actually very, very smart. They've done well. But in saying that, there are things that, well, there's 5 things that I really didn't like about this watch on this particular model, that if they've changed it, I think they would have really knocked this out of the park. Now, Baltic has sponsored this video, so I will leave all the links in the description section. You guys can check them out for yourselves. And looking closely at the specs of this watch, the footprint at 38mm, 47mm lug to lug, it's great. The specs say 13mm for that case height. I measure 12.7, which is a plus. Now, that crown is a 6mm push-pull crown. The watch offers 50 meters of water resistance, and the total weight that I measure on this leather strap comes in at exactly 56 grams. And there it is in all its glory. I think they've executed this thing very well. I think styling, it sits well, it looks good, it's been extremely comfortable, especially on this leather strap. I've really enjoyed it, and to be honest, I didn't actually think this was a leather strap, but it's an Italian leather, it's very comfortable, but again, even that, it's not without its flaws. Now, the watch is powered by Miyota 8315. It's an automatic movement, it does hack, and it offers about 60 hours power reserve. And in that movement, I had a few of my gripes. Now, before I continue, let me mention that this particular watch is not actually a production version. It's been sent out to me so I can review it. They're going to send me a production version, and I've had some issues with this, especially that movement. You see, on the time grapher, the movement specs say that it's running at about plus 6 seconds per day. Decent amplitude and not too bad in beat error. However, in reality, on the wrist, this thing's gained about 7 minutes a day. And that's weird. That is really strange. So I don't understand that, but as I mentioned, it is a prototype. Maybe they didn't bother regulating it, I don't know, but I've had some issues with this movement. Secondly, the winding, it's been a bit crunchy or rough, so I'm persuaded that there is something wrong with this particular movement in this watch, but being a pre-production version, it's going back anyway, but I wanted to mention that to you guys regardless. But let's get back on the good stuff. The case itself is gold PVD coated. It is lovely. I think they've done a great job. It feels good. Now, how long this is going to wear, I'm not sure. The proof is in the pudding. Time will tell. But as with anything that's gold plated, whether it's electroplated, whether it's PVD coated, obviously it does have a particular shelf life. The harder you use it or knock it, obviously down the line you will see wear and tear marks. But all things considered, the price of these things, they come in at €385. It's not going to make a big dent in the pocket, especially looking at the style of watch and the design layout. So keep that in mind. Now, looking closely at that dial, this is a hero of that watch. It's a sector dial, and it's a combination of brushed and high polish. And those gold Arabics and handset just pop. They just stand out beautifully. I think the balance is gorgeous. The reflection coming off that dial, again, is beautiful. They've done really well in that department. Now, the crystal that's offered on this watch is a domed hesselite. It's basically plexiglass or plastic. So one of the problems I found with this is that it's not as clean as it should be. Opting for a plexiglass with a black dial, high gloss dial like this, I think they've done themselves a disservice, personally, because that dial is stunning. It would have been great to see sharper detail out of it by opting for a sapphire crystal instead of hesselite, but that's just me. There's a softening effect using plexiglass. It really does soften the dial up, and I think this just screaming for look at me, and it's just hiding behind that plastic. Nonetheless, that said, the experience on the wrist has really been enjoyable with this. That leather strap, I actually thought it was some sort of cordura. Initially when I opened the box, I didn't realise it's actually leather. It's actually Italian calfskin. I didn't realise until I actually felt it and put it on the wrist. It's very thin, it's very soft, it's actually very pliable. So it bedded in very quickly, which is great. But as you can see, already some of that black is starting to come off. And I've only had this for the better part of a week. So the longevity of this strap is not going to last, I can tell you now. Comfort is great, the look is quite good. In fact, I probably would have preferred a crocodile leather, something with bigger design on this. I think it would have really suited this watch, but that's just me. Now, in saying all that and summing up the gripes of this watch, I did say there's 5 of them, and the 5 of them were, first and foremost, the accuracy of that movement. Being a pre-production version, I'm happy to forgive that, because this is way off. 7 minutes is just huge. I can't understand how it's done that. But I'm mentioning so that you guys can know. Secondly, that crystal. It is lovely. The look is good. I would have loved the sapphire on this because that dial is drop dead gorgeous. So it would have been great to get a sapphire, to get a cleaner look and really enjoy the reflection of that second hand going around on that dial or even the handset itself. It's just a beautiful look. Third gripe, as I mentioned, is that strap. Although it is comfortable, it really is a letdown throughout the week. It hasn't lasted, so I don't think this strap is going to last at all. Make other plans for swapping out that strap because this thing will not go the distance. Fourth gripe, for me, which I haven't mentioned, legibility. When the light hits this thing properly, it's spectacular. It is amazing. But in certain lighting scenarios, you can't see anything. It just disappears. But that's the Achilles heel of having a black dial and highly polished gold markers. It's normal. Expect a few legibility issues in certain lighting scenarios. It's going to happen. And probably my last gripe, again which I haven't mentioned, I don't think this watch needed drilled lugs. I know it features them, I just don't think the particular look, maybe in the stainless steel version, yes, I get it. But in a gold version, I don't think it needs it. It's not trying to look more like a tool, but more like a dressy piece. So they could have omitted that, and it still would have looked absolutely beautiful. But whatever the case, guys, I'm happy I got this on hand. I'm going to be sending it back so they can send me a production version. Unfortunately, the movement on this one and a couple of little changes that needed to be made. But I wanted to be transparent and tell you guys what the issues were with it regardless. Beautiful looking piece, not without a couple of little niggles. And I think the main thing for me, that crystal, it would have been great if it was a sapphire. I know that's a personal choice, but that dial is screaming, just look at me. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I'll leave all the links in the description so you guys can check them out for yourselves. The new Baltic HMS002. If you're keen, check them out. Also, hit me up in the comments. What do you think of this watch? Put all the gripes aside. It has been really enjoyable. And when the production version comes, I think the only thing I'd be looking at changing is that strap. So you can get some long life out of it and longer wear. Thanks again for watching. Be well, and we'll see you in the next one.